next thing I want to talk about, it's a complete handbrake turn from the football matches of the weekend. Everyone will remember the furore and the complication of something that we thought was pretty straightforward. The poppies on shirts for international matches and for the club matches in the first week of November. I think that may be relatively straightforward compared to what's happening now. The FA have charged Pep Guardiola for wearing a political symbol, i.e. the yellow ribbon he's taken to wearing, he says, as a protest against the ongoing imprisonment without trial of certain Catalonian politicians by the Spanish state. And the FA have felt they have to do something, because I suppose, Simon, the answer is, well, if he can do that, then why can't I do this? And if he can do that, why can't I do that?
Yeah.
But they are putting themselves in a difficult position here, because from everything I know about Pep Guardiola, and particularly having read the book that he did with our own Guillaume Balaguer, he's not the backing down kind. Let's be frank about this.
Well, I mean, they put themselves in an invidious position, but they're forced to do it.
Yes.
Because ultimately, if they don't do it, you've got a situation where, not for want of a better expression, the lunatics run the asylum. There are rules, and I don't particularly like politics touching sport too much. I certainly don't like it being used as political football, with the Labour Party wanting to put it part of their manifesto. I don't like to see NFL players on their knees, not supporting the national anthem in America. I don't like it to be used that way. But in the same token, everybody is allowed in every other walk of life to express their views. Nobody would be saying anything if someone walked into Barclays Bank wearing, the yellow ribbon for Catalonia. I live in Spain a lot of the time, so I understand that situation probably greater than anybody else, and have different views. And this is not the show for that particular subject matter.
But I think talk radio for that.
But I think the rules of the game that he chooses to draw £15 million a year salaries from is that he is not allowed to broadcast his political persuasion, views, vantage point, or ideology inside a football stadium. And that's the end of it. He has plenty of other platforms to do it on. He can do it. If he wants to go and do an all-encompassing interview in L'Equipe or whatever magazine that he wants to do it in,
Times of London,
he
whatever.
can do it whatever he wants to. But to deliberately cock a schnook in the face of the establishment and the rules that he knows he has to abide by puts him on a collision course. It's a dangerous one for him, and he shouldn't do it, I don't think.
What about when the argument comes up, and he will use this argument, that this is more important than football, sir? He will be very polite about it, but the FA will say...
Well, to be fair, if it isn't more important than football, dedicate yourself to that then, politics,
yeah,
than football.
Absolutely right.
Well, it's a football coach. He's not a politician, is he?
If you're just saying if it's more important to you, like all great politicians over the history, they sacrifice themselves to that cause. They're just going to do it.
Don't be a limousine liberal and dial it in when you feel like it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think that's what he's doing. I'm sorry. I don't.
Well,
agree
listen,
with that.
He has
I think
plenty
he
of
has
other
real
places
passion
to
for
do
it.
it.
Yes,
But he's got a platform anywhere.
Anywhere else besides the
anywhere.
football stadium.
No, and if you think about something...
Because he might think there's something going wrong, but everybody will want to join this show. Then where do we stop with this?
Oh, no,
we understand his feelings for it, but where do we stop with this?
Totally
It's like
understand.
me I go and watch. I just want to come to a football ground where it's non-politics. I don't want to think. I want to enjoy the game of football. It's like me going to watch U2, the greatest musicians in the world. But do us a favour, Bono. Get on with the songs.
That's right.
Don't tell me what's going on in the
That's
world.
absolutely right.
But people use their
But there's plenty. Listen, Bono
fame.
can go on elsewhere, anywhere, make a whole documentary
But not
about
when
it.
they're bound
But no
by a
one
set
I've
of
paid
rules.
120 quid.
Some imbecile rock star that thinks he's got the world.
I wouldn't say
vantage
it's an
points.
imbecile. Is
Right.
it?
Well, in the
I'm-
in the context of being overreaching their point of view and using their influence in the wrong direction at the wrong times, I do think that's imbecilic at times. I think Michael Stipe from REM should sit down and shut up, right? But that's a different discussion. But he has a set of governance, Dan.
Allow me
and
to
that
agree.
governance doesn't allow it.
To agree with you just for a second. I do understand that the reason why I think Guardiola, I personally, I'm a little bit disturbed by the FA here because I happen to believe that politicians being locked up in a democracy for what they're trying, and it's been non-violent, don't forget, is absolutely appalling. However, the next manager comes along who's supporting the North Korean regime, which I don't agree with. Of course, I want him locked up.
Danny, if I'm the chairman of Manchester City and I say to Pep
I
Guardiola,
think we've got to get a North Korean manager in the Premier League.
But it could be. I don't know.
I know where you're
Steve
going.
Evans might decide he
Yeah.
really wants to support North Korea.
yeah, okay. But if I'm the chairman of Manchester City and I
Sorry,
say to
Steve.
Pep Guardiola, You cannot wear that at any time whilst you're working for Manchester City. I don't care what you do and what you don't do, but you cannot go and do interviews outside of the game, outside of the ground. You cannot feature your fame and use it in other environments to advance your views and support. Then I would understand Guardiola making a statement, but the only place he's being stopped from doing it is inside a football stadium. So that's where he should leave it.
Right, occasionally. You have talked about free trade and things like
Freedom
that
of speech.
on this programme. Freedom of
absolutely.
speech. Why would a football stadium be any different?
Look,
Because the rules have been made
because
up
the
until
rules-
we change
Rules are there to
that.
be changed.
well,
No,
they're there to be changed
democratically
Yeah.
and change it that way.
That's his
not
argument.
just doing it, but no, it's not. That's just doing your own thing. And well, listen, we all feel for him. He has a passion for it, and we all feel for the 4 guys that are in prison. But that's got nothing to do with the guys. I feel for
See,
anybody.
you're doing all you're doing is what Guardiola does in a place of work. You're
But I'm
expressing an
not.
opinion.
But I'm not governed by
Yeah,
the
but
rules.
there's no rules here for Simon not to do that.
Shall I write some down? Shall I write some rules for the show?
Yeah, don't do this. Don't do that. Get here on time. Park your car where someone can see it.
Make sure you hit the brakes on time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But no, I just think that there is a structure, and there is a framework. And whilst I am not one of those that advocates the establishment, because I was always up against it and wanting it to change, but there are ways and there are methodologies, and there's too much about Guardiola at times about getting a little bit carried away what he thinks is he can do and what he can't do. He can say what other players can't do, but his players can do it. He can have a vantage point on what's important in English football and what's not, right?
It divides people, antagonistic.
Yeah.
Because you're
And
saying
that's
that
not his job.
Guardiola's right, but what about the rest of the Spain?
Oh,
and the other people
no,
going, they're all
actually-
going, wait a minute, maybe they should be in jail.
Actually,
you know,
to be
we want a politics-free football arena.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Any sport.
It's not a platform for politics. It's
Because
not.
well,
what
I'm
sport
warning you
is?
too, then.
What sport is?
It's
a
influence.
place where everybody comes together and mixes culture, diversity, and that helps more than anything else. Anything you put in front of that might break us apart at times.
and serves
You
out
wa-
other people's agendas.
You watch the World Cup in Russia being politicised. You watch
Doesn't
it
make it right, Dan,
absolutely.
does it?
No.
Doesn't make it right, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be encouraged.
Oh,
Or,
listen,
or
if we think there's
eulogised.
something wrong, we have free speech to talk about it in here about Russia.
Yeah.
But inside the football stadium, where the rules have been made, if we want to change the rules, we'll get together as an organisation and change it and say, 2 years' time, that's no problem. But until that time, you can't have somebody riding ahead of
And I
everybody.
totally understand that this is a very, very tricky situation, even for someone like myself who's tried to think it through, because what he says is, in my opinion, that you shouldn't be locking up people in democracies,
That's his opinion.
yes, it is. And it's my opinion too. But of course, the Catalonia thing, I'm ignorant about. I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on between Spain
broke the law.
and Catalonia.
They broke the law.
Mm-hmm.
And they're suffering the consequences for it. And the consequences might be extreme, but they broke the law. But we're not here to talk about the Spanish situation. We're talking about Guardiola's representation of his personal POV, point of view.
Okay.
Well, I hear the whistle, but